Okay, thank you for being here, everybody. We're going to talk about social media tonight. We were actually originally going to talk about inviting tonight, but as we were talking back and forth, we started realizing that the foundation for inviting really does start on social media. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to try to go quickly because I actually want to give you time to create the content that you're going to have for the next week. Okay. And then next week, make sure you come back because somebody will be leading the call on inviting from the post you create on social media from tonight. Okay. I see something in the chat. Oh, let's see. Oops. Okay. First things first, if you are not consistently putting out content connected to what you're solving, connected to body, connected to your offer, people are going to be really weirded out when you invite them. You can't just get into people's inboxes and invite them to do something that they have no idea what you're talking about. It's going to feel very off. It's going to feel very salesy. It's going to feel very inauthentic, and you're probably going to get ghosted a lot, or you're going to get no's a lot because they're very confused about what you're even talking about. So, in my experience in the last 6.5 years, your content really does have to be a mix of things. Okay. Number one, the content you put out there needs to have your unique personality. Okay. There is only one you, and I know it's pretty cliche to say it like this, but really your personality is your superpower in the business. You can say the same exact thing as me and do it in your own way, and you are going to attract somebody that I never ever could. I think about Shelby, for example, who is the top leader on my team. She had a friend literally tell her to follow me because the friend thought we were similar. There are other Beachbody coaches out there. She could have told her to follow anybody, but the reason she said for her to follow me is because she knew we would connect and be friends. So, the very first thing I would tell you is any piece of content you put out there, take yourself out of any box and create the content exactly in a way that brings you joy. Create content that is 1000% you, that isn't trying to be like somebody else. Or if you are gaining inspiration from somebody else, put your spin on it. The more you can be yourself, the more attractive your posts are going to be to the people that you're trying to attract to the business or to your groups. Second thing you need is you need to make sure that some of your posts are adding value. And I know, especially if you're new, you're like, okay, well, what value do I have to offer? And I would say lean on body. Okay, lean on body to be your value. Your value is that you have found something that has solved XYZ for you, whatever that is. If you're talking about the coaching opportunity, your value is you have this thing to offer that can help people make money. Your value could be that you have this fitness app that's rated number one. That's something I keep saying over and over and over again. If you missed it, CNN. Hey, Ethan. Hey, can you go back to daddy, please? Anyway, CNN rated the Body Fitness app number one, and that's a really, really big deal. They tried out like 4 or 5 different fitness apps for months at a time, and they rated ours number one. So you can literally rely on the fact that body is the value. Like you're talking about what we offer. You're talking about the fact that you can do the programs anywhere. You're talking about whatever it is that body solved for you. Okay. It can also be a mix of entertainment, which can be literally anything. It can be funny. It can be sharing reels that are funny. It can be you doing silly things. Like, I mean, that's what I lean on. Whatever you think is entertainment, like, don't be afraid to add that into your social media. I know Lauren for a long time talked about books, like that's entertainment. Or if maybe you're into a certain show or whatever, don't be afraid to add that into your social media as well. And then lastly, a direct explanation of what you offer / how you can help. People are not watching you every day. Okay. There are very few people who are watching you every single day, and you can repeat yourself over and over and over again. I know, just let me give you one example. I follow not very many like legit influencers, but I do follow one who has a clothing company. And I listen to her explain about her clothing company and the clothes that are launching every single time she does. I really can't even explain to you why. She's not doing anything special other than like holding them up and showing them and talking about why she's excited and why I need to buy it. People are going to listen to you if you are passionate about something and if you're explaining something to them that you believe can help them. You can literally say it over and over and over again because people are not paying that much attention to you. That's why you should say it over and over and over again, especially when you're talking about your groups and the body app. Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest with you that with my content creation, I am not the person that like writes out my exact posts every single day because I'm going to lose all the joy. You need to know yourself well enough to know what you need to do. Okay. You might actually need to sit down on Sundays and write out what you're going to post about every day. You might need to actually create all of your posts on one day of the week. That way they're ready to go. You just need to know what works best for you. But what I do every single week is I know the thing that I'm going to be inviting to. You absolutely cannot create content to invite from if you don't know what the heck you're inviting to, what you're promoting. And it can be different every single week, or maybe you invite to the same thing for 2 weeks. Whatever it is, it honestly doesn't matter as long as you have a rhyme and a reason to what you're doing. I don't know about you, but I feel like the hardest week for me with inviting is the week my group starts because it feels like kind of a harsh transition. But I promise you, people are not noticing. Okay, they are not noticing, and all you need to do is have in your mind what is coming up next that I can start conversations about and invite people to. So here are some ideas. Okay. Maybe it's a free group. I feel like that's a really good thing to do, maybe the week or the week after your group starts. And it's thinking about, okay, what do I need right now? Maybe it's a water challenge, you guys. It can be as simple as that. Or maybe it's a no snooze group. Legit, it can be anything. And you're just creating content about how, maybe storytelling about how you've been struggling to get up with your alarm lately, and you're going to create a message pod on Instagram for people who don't want to hit the snooze button this week. And then you're getting into inboxes asking, sending the link to the group chat and saying, hey, join this if you want to be held accountable for not pressing snooze this week. It's that simple. Maybe you are inviting to an upcoming program. Maybe you just are about to start Dig Deeper and your content is going to be focused around inviting to that. Maybe it's a product. Maybe you want to run an Energize group or a last thing group or whatever. Maybe it's just the Body BOGO. Maybe you're making it really simple and you just want to be selling Body BOGO right now. Maybe it's a nutrition group, or maybe it's a business partner info session. Whatever it is, it does not matter. But your content creation every single week is related to the thing that's coming up next that you are going to be inviting to. This is so, so vital because you're going to be so confused about what you're doing if you're creating content about your nutrition right now, but your upcoming group is Dig Deeper. Like, you're probably going to be focused on lifting and talking about lifting if Dig Deeper is your program. Or it's going to be confusing if you're like, okay, well, I have a free group coming up, but I'm still talking about Dig Deeper. Like, how do I do that? No, what you're talking about is the same thing that you're inviting to. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples of how you can post what you should post about. First way is problem focused / explicit. Okay, so a couple real ideas that I've used that have been really, really good, really helpful. And honestly, I'm not a proponent of like getting stuck scrolling. Maybe give yourself a time limit because I could scroll literally all night long. I like scrolling. It's like entertainment for me. But you really can pick up on trends, and more than anything, pick up on what stops your scroll. Like, what are you watching? What are you listening to? And what are you just scrolling right by? Okay, so these two things have been working well for me. One is explicit, like I'll just put pictures. You can go to my page and probably find these later. But hi, my name is Paige and I help women blank, whatever it is that I help women with. For me right now, I've really pivoted to faith and fitness. So that's what I'm talking about. I help women stay consistent in their faith and fitness. like as simple as that. Maybe it's, hi, my name is Meg and I help women have 3-ingredient recipes and 30-minute workouts. Like, be as explicit and clear as you can. The days of curiosity marketing are long gone, in my opinion. It comes across as like very network markety, and it's just not like, nobody's gonna like bombard your inbox looking for answers with curiosity marketing because somebody else is laying it out plain and simple. Like, it is too much to come to you and ask a question. They're going to figure it out on their own, and they likely don't want to have that conversation with you. Second real idea, POV, you're looking for blank and you find my account. And you guys, this literally can be so simple, especially if you're brand new. You can't get all caught up and I don't know what bodies solve for me. I don't know what problem I solve. If you can't think of anything, you're looking for short workouts and you find my account, or you're looking for healthy recipes and you find my account, or you're looking for other mom friends who want to work out and you find my account. Like, make it so simple. Who are you? What are you sharing? What are you working through? And put that. And honestly, it's a lot of trial and error. It just is. Okay, second thing, you want to post on your stories. Get very specific and tell a story about a problem and how something related to body and what you're offering solves it. Okay, so people love to listen. I feel like this style of even reels is really popular right now, just people talking. Like, and I like listening to them too. I think it's because I have like trend fatigue. Like, I don't want to see people recreating the same thing over and over again. If I see that it's a trend, if it even has trending audio, I don't really want to watch it because I'm like, this is not new. I've seen this a million times, so I'm going to scroll by. Your story is new. Your story is probably the only thing you can share that somebody has never heard unless you have told it. Like, it really is your superpower because it's like nobody else can put that on a reel. Nobody else can put that on a post. So if you can get vulnerable and share about your story on your stories, I really think people will listen. And be as specific as you can be. Like, I like to talk about how before body, I was a runner. And the thing that always made me quit was it got colder. Like, it got colder, and I would always convince myself that I was too busy. And really, what I think it came down to was like, I didn't want to be outside in the cold running. So, something that body solved for me is I can be consistent year round because me working out doesn't depend on the weather. Like, my house is climate controlled. So, I'm going to keep pressing play. Something else I talk about is how I didn't know how to create a workout. Like, I only ran because it's what I knew how to do. So for me, body solved that. It gave me a playbook of how to work out. It taught me how to lift. Like, it really did. We have so many good resources, and you need to tap into why body works for you. Why, even if you quit coaching, why would you continue using body's resources? Because that's probably the real reason why you love it so much and why you've stuck with it and what you can really highlight for other people. Whatever it did for you, like, that's what's going to draw people in. You don't need to worry about how it can help the masses. You need to worry about how it helped you and share those little bitty stories and just talk about it and maybe make it engaging. I would also caution you from talking too much, because if you talk on your stories, people are going to lose interest. So don't use the whole minute. Don't use like even 4 of them in a row. Like, break it up even with pictures, or engagement things or silly things or whatever. And then the last one, the problem focus is a post using you language, and lay out a problem and share a tangible tip with a call to action. So you could basically write something out and write it like, okay, maybe like, you struggle with blank, and you tell a story about how you used to struggle with it, but you're talking to somebody. Okay, act as if you're writing to a person, and then you share a tangible tip of how you overcame it, and then a call to action at the end, which, if you don't know what that is, I'll cover that in just a second. Okay, so problem focused / explicit is very obviously you had a problem with health and fitness, body has solved it, and you're not being cryptic. You're just talking about it outright and inviting publicly, saying with your words what you're offering, maybe talking about your group, and then always, like Brendan says, putting a date. If you are talking about your group, actually putting a deadline for that. Okay, body bragging. I like to talk about it. is being explicit that we use body. This is something that I've done for the last couple months because I don't know about you guys, but when I scroll and I see people dogging body, it really ticks me off. So I want to put body out there. I'm proud that I'm using body. I am proud that I work for body. I am proud that I help people get access to body. So I've done a few reels where I actually like have put, 3 ways body has changed my health, or 3 reasons why I love body. Or maybe like you can add a little bit of your story. Like there's so many different ways to share your story through reels. You could talk, you could share images, you could do workout clips and words over it. Like there are so many different ways. And then stories, being explicit about what the app is. There are so many people who do not know what body is. And if you want people to sign up with you, I think the best way is to answer any questions you think they would have in your stories frequently. Going back to that girl with the clothing line, I think that's why she does so well, because she's super explicit down to every single detail. And we can do that with the body app. People don't know what it is. And even if they used it a year ago, they still don't know what it is. And you can screen record the app. You can, if you have the bike and you have the tablet, you can record yourself like going through the programs, showing the recipes, whatever. And always, always, always do your best to have like an engagement thing on it. Like something as simple as, what swipe if this would help you. Like truly let people engage with what you're doing, or ask a question, say something relatable, talk about how this has solved your problems of XYZ. Like show our resources, show the Plate It like journal, show the Portion Fix containers, show the fact that you're using pre-workout. Like get people familiar with what they would be buying from you. Okay, storytelling. Again, we kind of covered this already, but you can just talk. Like there are so many people that I enjoy listening to on Reels because they're just sharing their story. Cut it down so you don't have tons of pauses, tons of dead time, and maybe start with a hook or start with the end of the story and then kind of explain. If you just scroll for a minute, you're going to find this style of reel. And I don't know about you, but it's one that I almost always listen to if the beginning of it really like pulls me in. And I really think if you could figure out how to have some hooks with your specific story, people are going to want to listen to you. They really are. It could be like starting with, I healed from blank, or I used to starve myself. Here's what I do now. Like literally say something that maybe is shocking. Say something that's going to grab people's attention and tell your story from there. Stories, again, the more authentic, the better. Just talk. Like you don't have to do anything crazy, but people want to know your story. People want to know how body has helped you. People want to relate with you, and storytelling and making sure that body is the solution is going to help people see themselves in your story and then know that what you invite them to eventually could also help them. Use pictures to get your point across, use engagement tools, and like I said, don't overtalk. People don't want to listen to you forever, and break up the talking if you can. Last thing would be like a static post. Engage the 5 senses and set the scene. Like this is basic 7th grade English, 7th grade writing. Like put yourself in the scenario. Talk about what you see, talk about what you heard, talk about what you smell. Like that is the perfect way to get people hooked on to reading your post. Like get yourself in the moment. And a lot of times for me, writing posts, it takes a lot of thought. I know a lot of people struggle with it, but it honestly takes intentionality of like going back into who you were, back into what you were struggling with, and thinking about what actually helped me. And then trying to put that in words. The more detail, the better, in my opinion. You don't want to use like a bunch of filler, but the more you can tell a story, the more authentically, and again, in your own voice, type exactly how you would talk. Literally, exactly. If you read it back to yourself, you're like, okay, this sounds like I'm telling like a speech or I'm on stage, scrap it and start over. You want it to sound, pretend that you're texting your best friend your story. Like that's really what you should do. Same with when you're talking on stories and even in your reels. Like your superpower is that you are not a professional fitness trainer. You are the girl next door who has gotten really good results imperfectly because you love body and body has been so helpful. Okay, I think this is the last one, is social proof of what you offer. This is something that I think is huge right now. I see it a lot, and I've been really trying to do it myself, is showing that I'm not the only one getting results. Real ideas. So this is something I've been doing lately. Me working out with like a screenshot of my meal plan for the week, for example, over it. Like I'll do it on my notes, I'll screenshot it, I'll cut it down. And I put like, it was me working out and it said, let me take something off your shoulders or something of that nature. And then I like added a picture to my reel and said, screenshot this or whatever. And it was my meal plan. Or the other day, I was working out and I'm using affirmations in our group right now, like faith-based affirmations for working out in our bodies and all of that. So I like my thing said screenshot for 20 plus affirmations about your body, something like that. And then it flashed on the screen the affirmations. So people will save it, people will screenshot it, people might send it. Like that is social proof of what you're offering to your clients. If somebody comes and they see that I'm working out, they see that I'm offering value on social media of food and affirmations and faith-based things, they know that that's what they're going to get in my group. Like that's the kind of value that I'm adding. There was a time where Shelby and I did a lot of spirit days and we had a lot of fun and probably bring those back at some point. But even if it's that, that's not like super valuable, but it is. If you're having fun in your group and your girls are having fun in your group, you need to showcase the way that you're supporting people. And that is a really, really good way. And then stories, obviously before and afters of people that you're working with or even other coaches on our team. Screenshots of the check-ins in your group, screenshots of what people are saying, screenshots of the app in your workout. I've seen Lauren do that a lot lately. Badges, you guys, that's such a big deal in our group. The girls love the badges. I love when I have a client that sends me like the first workout one. I just got one of those today. Share those things. Tag your clients. Best case scenario, they share it and you get free free advertising from your clients. Your clients love to be tagged and it is great social proof of what you offer. These are ways that you can build people's confidence that you can help them. Okay. And these are the kinds of things that you need to be posting if you also want to get into people's inboxes with an invite. They need to know that you can provide them something helpful. And again, it doesn't have to be anything earth shattering. The Body app is helpful. That is the thing you offer. You can connect them with the best fitness app on the market. Like that is very valuable. You don't have to spend tons and tons of time coming up with value. Body is the value. Use it, okay? Reuse content when it works, or if you know it's who and how you want to serve, okay? If you start doing a different kind of content, you make a pivot, it's not going to hit the first time, okay? But if it is how and who you want to serve, you need to keep doing it. And when you see that content is resonating with people, you're getting certain messages about what's helpful, or like you notice that a reel has blown up, or you see that it's been shared a lot, then that's something you're like, okay, that's working. That style or that thing or the way I phrase that, you should reuse it. Social media content should not take you forever. It's a lot of repeating. It's a lot of saying the same thing over and over and over again with different videos, with different audios. Like, don't be afraid to do that. I feel like I've literally been repeating myself since July, but it makes things easier when you begin to repeat yourself. And honestly, I think about a lot of accounts I follow, like I've come to expect what they're going to say a lot of times, but sometimes it hits different because they've just rephrased it a little bit of a different way. So don't be afraid to say the same thing over and over and over again. People are not obsessing over your content, I promise, and they need to hear it again. Lastly, always include a call to action. It's your in to invite people. You have to create content that makes it really clear that you're offering something, that you're offering up access to body, that you're offering up community. What is it about body that you love? What are you offering, and how can you phrase that in your post and then basically use the same wording to invite somebody? If they connect with the post, if they connect with the reel where you're saying like, I don't know, let's take my affirmations example. Like we're writing things on Post-its and sticking it on our mirror. So I wrote a post the other day about like how that's transformed my life. Okay. So that's also something that I'm doing in my group. Like we posted it and the girls are doing this on their mirrors too. So when I go to invite, that's something that I reference. That's something unique that I offer that probably nobody else on this call is doing right now, because that is something that Shelby and I do in our group. Okay. And for me, loving the community that I'm inviting to is a massive piece of the puzzle. I don't care where you're supporting your clients, but you need to like it. You need to enjoy it. You need to have people checking in. That's a huge part of what you're inviting people to. And if it's not, figure out what is. What is the draw to working with you? Because for Shelby and I, a huge draw is the community that we have created. And that's a massive thing that I invite to. Because here's the key for me. A lot of times I'm talking to somebody, it just happened yesterday. This girl was like, I'm deciding between body and I don't even know what the other thing that she was deciding between. And she had told me prior in the conversation that the faith-based aspect was important to her. I said, I'm the only person that's going to offer that. This other thing you're doing, you're not going to get that piece. And if it's important to you, then body and my groups are the answer. So it's just little bitty things that you're offering. It could even be like, do you work out on Zoom with your people? Like that's a piece that people have come to me that they want. What are the little tiny things that you're doing that you love, that you offer, that you can include in your social media and then include in your invites and your conversations? Okay. And then lastly, I think that call to actions are extremely important. These, gonna be honest with you, I just typed it into AI. These probably are not exact things that I would say, but I didn't want to come up with like 5 to 10 of them. So I just asked AI for some, but I like to say comment blank below, whatever it is, or send me a DM if you want to blank. But they have to know with a call to action that you're inviting to something. Okay. So I feel like that was a lot of fast and furious information there, but we're at 8:30 and I want you to have some time to think and create. Okay. So your next week, look ahead, look at your calendar, look at your planner. What is the next thing that you're doing? Do you have a challenge group that's starting the first week of February? Do you have nothing right now and you need to get something? Like, what do you need to create so you can invite from? That's your starting place. What's coming up next? If you have nothing, you're doing that right now. And then what content can I create that is related to the thing I'm offering so I can start inviting from that? Okay. And if you're new, the best thing is your challenge group, in my opinion. Like, what challenge group is coming up next? What program are you starting next? And how can you storytell around that? How can you be explicit about body and what it is in your groups? And what kind of content do you want to create? Okay. So, what questions do you have? I see lots over here. Something else I've been doing lately, I can't really tell you whether or not it's been working, but I am aware that reels are more for people who don't know me yet. So on my reels, I do mostly me working out on my reels. My caption has been short. And since my page is faith and fitness, I do workouts, arrow, and I'll type always the body app. I tag body and I say, right now I'm doing dig deeper. Bible, because I get that question all the time. I do an arrow, tag, she reads truth. And then I do devotional, upon waking, Jackie Hill Perry, just giving people information to share with them. These are valuable things I'm using in my journey, and I want to share them with you. And then my call to action is like, if you need help combining your faith and fitness, comment me below. Okay. So I also just want to put out there, I've been doing this for 6.5 years and the faith and fitness thing is my jam. But when I was a new coach, I was heavily, heavily relying on just body as the value. Okay. So I feel like I'm not giving you a clear starting place. So let's say number one, what are you offering next? I would love for you to type it in the chat. What is the next thing that's coming up on your agenda? Is it a challenge group? Is it a free group? Is it a coaching info session? What's coming up? Okay. You might need a pen or pencil or in your notes or whatever. Okay. I want you to think about what aspect of body and what body is, what body offers is related to the thing you're offering. Okay. So let's say it's dig deeper. Maybe that's the next thing you're offering. How can you show what they're going to get when they purchase it from you? Can you show like a screenshot of the Dig Deeper workout calendar? Can you show a clip of Shaun T talking? Like, what is the thing that is on body that you can show? That's your explicit. Okay. What problem can you say is related to this that body has solved for you, and being very explicit about how body solved the problem? Okay. That's one post right there. It could also be a reel. Also, since we're going to be inviting next week, if you have something coming up this week, it's probably going to be too, like, pick something, you know what I mean? Because you're going to be inviting to it next Tuesday. So if the thing you're inviting to is like this Thursday, think ahead to the following week, because you don't want to invite next week to something that happened this week, you know? Another way to think about this is, why are you doing the thing you're doing next? Like, maybe you're doing dig deeper because you want to get really freaking strong right now. How can you talk about that? Okay, I don't want to go too fast, but second thing is storytelling. Okay, whatever's coming up next, I want you to brain dump parts of your story and what little tiny parts of the story you can tell that are related to the thing you're offering. Okay, so let me give you an example. For me with Dig Deeper, a part of my story that I would share, which I'm already doing it, would be that I never lifted weights. Like, I could talk about that, how I used to only run. And I can so clearly remember seeing a picture of myself on vacation after spending like months and months and months running and being so unhappy with what I saw. Like, I've been working so hard, I've been starving myself. Why do I still look like that? And I've learned through body that, one, you got to eat, two, feel good and look better, honestly, and two, doing cardio over and over and over again isn't going to change your body composition. Insert body. I needed help learning how to lift, and that's why I'm going to do Dig Deeper. And if you're in that place where you know you need to lift, or you would like to start lifting but you have no idea where to start, this is going to be perfect for you. So a little tiny story, a little part of your story, and then how body can solve that. So brain dump little stories you could tell with the next thing that you're offering. Okay, I want to give you time to actually like work on your actual post. So the last thing I want you to include in your posting, I'd say specifically really your stories this week, is this social proof of wherever you're supporting people. So this could be a picture of people on Zoom with you. This could be a text that a client has sent you. This could be a Facebook post that somebody's checked in with. If you're going to share names or actual photos, make sure you ask for permission, because not everybody is comfortable with that. But I love sharing that social proof. So put that on your list of things to do. And I love putting engagement on that. Like, I shared Ashlyn yesterday, who lost 0.7 pounds with the first week of Dig Deeper. And I put a little bar to slide of either Ashlyn is a queen. Again, your engagement tools, talk like yourself. Okay. You don't have to be like, do you want to get results with Dig Deeper? Like, nobody's going to say yes. Okay. They know what's coming. So I put Ashlyn's a queen, or okay, I'm ready to learn more. Just like some talk like yourself. Okay. Like, get out of the box. Don't feel like it has to be this perfect thing. So make sure you include that this week. Okay, I'm gonna shush. I'm gonna give you like 10 minutes. I want you to do your best. You don't have to like write out exactly what you're gonna say, but give yourself a small posting schedule from now till next Tuesday. Your posts should include the things that we talked about, a call to action related to the next thing you're offering. And then next week, somebody's going to lead you through inviting from those posts. Okay. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to do that. I want to include one more thing. When you're writing posts or talking on your stories about what's coming up, tell them when it starts and tell them the deadline. That is something Brendan taught us, well, reminded us really at leadership, and it really does make so much of a difference. He was telling us, I don't remember the stat, it was something like, Meg, do you remember about the deadline? It was like the number of sales closed with the deadline, like 75% more people, or 75% of the people that sign up with you will enroll in the last like 24 hours or something like that. That's wrong, but people need a deadline. People need the pressure. So saying, and even in your invites, saying next week I'm hosting a info session about how to make money with body. Let me know by Friday night of this week if you want to come. Something like that. Okay, it is 8:45 and I really want you to have clarity in your posting before next week. Okay, I have a goal for you. First, before every week starts, I want you to have clarity about what is coming up so you know what the heck you're inviting to with like you just want to be specific. It's not like, "Hey, have you ever thought about working out with me?" It's like, "I have this coming up. We're starting this date. Do you want to do that with us?" Okay? Second thing is I have two goals for you before we come back together next Tuesday. Number one is a daily public invite. It should be so obvious that you have something coming up. Do it in whatever way you want to, but a daily public invite saying with your voice what's coming up or typing it over your workout or whatever with an engagement of like a poll or a swipe or DM, whatever. A public invite of what's coming up. And then the second one is four. I know for some of you that's a lot. Four posts on your actual feed, either reels or static posts, with a deadline of some sort and a call to action. You can do this in the storytelling style. You can do this in the problem solution style. It really doesn't matter how you do it, but the most important thing is that it is clear that you're offering something with a deadline and you have a call to action at the bottom of it. And let me be proof to you, okay? If you would scroll, don't do this because it would take you absolutely forever. If you would scroll back to the beginning of when I started to be a coach, I had the ugliest pictures you will ever see, the dumbest sounding things to say, but I signed up 5 to 10 people a month because on my picture from like PicStitch or whatever, I had the words July 17th. That is it. July 17th. And then in my caption, it was like, work out with me. We start July 17th. There was nothing special about what I said. There is nothing special about what I offered, but it was clear that I was offering something on July 17th because it was in white on the picture. Okay. Your social media skills, your swag, your whatever, none of it matters. None of it. You just need to be clear about what you're doing. And so many of you, that's your problem, is that you're like, I don't know how to invite because like, what am I inviting to? Be clear, create content around that, and then go in and invite from the things that you created. Okay. All right. That is all. Does anybody have questions? Okay. Come back next week and somebody will lead you through a call using what you created to invite next week. And if you repeat that over and over and over again, you're going to grow a business. See you next week.